ISIS has been very successful up until this point in doing their recruiting online, using the internet and especially social media to get people from Europe, other parts of the Middle East, even America, to find out about ISIS, get information online, and then travel and actually join the organization or commit acts of terrorism in their home countries. And it turns out that now Google has a plan to potentially cut into that recruitment just a little bit, although their methods might generate some opposition stateside. So we'll have to see about that, if people actually like what Google is doing. The program, which is by their organization Jigsaw, which used to be known as Google Ideas, it's like a think tank for technology that they control, calls the redirect method. That's what it is, and plans to launch in a new phase this month. It places advertising alongside results for any keywords and phrases that Jigsaw has determined people attracted to ISIS commonly search for. So they identify something that people look for when they want to join ISIS, and then they put targeted advertising next to that. Those ads link to Arabic and English language YouTube channels that pull together pre-existing videos Jigsaw believes can effectively undo ISIS's brainwashing. Clips like testimonials from former extremists or former members of ISIS in many cases, imams denouncing ISIS's corruption of Islam, and surreptitiously filmed clips inside the group's dysfunctional caliphate in Northern Syria and Iraq. And so basically, rather than just making our own propaganda, which we have done, the US government, other governments have done that to try to stop people from joining ISIS, they're taking sort of organic messages that are already out there and trying to get the people who are perhaps most likely to join ISIS to watch those instead. We have some evidence that it might be working.
Yeah, it's a very smart idea. I mean, if executed correctly. At first, when I read this, I scoffed at it. But upon sort of reading it more carefully, because they're organic, it just feels instantly manipulative.
Cheesy 80s.
It just feels like in a boardroom. Hey, so what we'll do is we'll get the kids to think differently. But no, the idea that again to show the barbarism and again disorganization inside the caliphate seems
terrible
like
living conditions.
Yeah, and again and the testimonials if they're legitimate.
And what it's actually like there.
Yeah.
And also trying to counter the religious message from actual religious leaders pointing out how this has absolutely nothing to do with Islam. So about those results. Over the course of about 2 months, more than 300,000 people were drawn to the anti-ISIS YouTube channels. Searchers actually clicked on Jigsaw's suggested ads 3 or 4 times more than a typical ad campaign. About 9% of those who were presented with the information clicked on it, which might sound low, but generally those ads only get 2 to 3% of people to click on them. And so, first of all, that's a lot of people who are searching for information on ISIS, so that's terrifying. Have fun with that.
Yeah, that's true.
But many of them now were presented with information that goes counter to it.
I think they should annoy them out of joining ISIS. Like, it shouldn't be the testimonials. No, it should be like just hammer them again and again and again with like those, can you believe what Morgan Fairchild looks like now? And then go through the 20
whitening technique your dentist doesn't want you to know.
And then you go through those 27 pictures and Morgan Fairchild isn't even there.
You never get to it and everyone opens up a new tab.
Totally.
I don't understand why those are all over the place. I hate that.
One of these one of those at least theories or at least approaches to stopping things that I've always thought, oh good, but why am I hearing about it? Because obviously this is supposed to be a secret thing, or it's supposed to go under the radar, and you're not supposed to know that this is happening. Now there's news reports about, hey, you guys, you know what we're doing in secret to actually derail where you're trying to check out ISIS. So now know what we're doing, so you can now know it.
It's transparency.
It seems. I mean, it's like halftime for a football game.
About it?
If like the coach is winning by 6 and he's like, oh, how have you stopped the other team from scoring at all? Because you're barely holding on. Well, let me tell you my whole game plan for the second half. No, why would you do that? Now they can adjust. It seems weird that that's the right way to go. But this story isn't going to get picked up in a large scale anyway, but maybe it'll be okay.
Well, it's on the Young Turks now, so some people will see it, I guess. A little bit more on the results, though. To give you an idea, yes, okay, so they clicked on the ads, but maybe they just want to watch it and mock it. Perhaps not. Those who clicked spent more than twice as long viewing the most effective playlist than the best estimates of how long people view YouTube as a whole. So these people were not just clicking on it. It wasn't just clickbait. They were watching it, actually. There was an average, I believe, of about 8 minutes on some of these videos that they would watch, and that perhaps is a great one of the line of defenses against people joining ISIS. Now, this is going to be expanded beyond the current phase. This month, along with the London-based startup Moonshot Countering Violent Extremism and the US-based Gen Next Foundation, Jigsaw plans to relaunch the program in a second phase that will focus its method on North American extremists, applying the method to both potential ISIS recruits and violent white supremacists.
They're
moving beyond just ISIS. Oh shit, they're going after the alt-right now. We'll see. Here's the thing, Google. You're smart. You got great techniques. Those people are immune to reason. Forget about it. You're not going to affect them. But that's where it gets a little bit scary, though.
But they're not, because they're young. They're not immune to reason. And
Okay.
right?
It's hyperbole.
I got it. I'm not meaning to get on you for that. I'll get on you for something later, I'm sure. No, but I mean, we're talking about, if they're on YouTube, then they're, maybe, look, there's 15-year-old white supremacists can be saved, and 15-year-old ISIS recruits can be saved.
Yeah.
Maybe not 35-year-olds.
Hopefully. Yeah. Some people, I think, are going to have a problem with the idea that Google is manipulating search results in any context, and especially when they start to move into white supremacists, which are basically just mainstream people now in America. You can just be a white supremacist if you want. There's no stigma anymore. Thanks, Edward Norton. Then some people might be concerned about where it might continue to go in the future. But it's a private corporation. If they want to do it, they can do it.